Hey everyone, this is 2.5 Extra Practice. Again, feel free to reference the video and the worksheet from yesterday to help you through this process. This is an extra practice, so what I would recommend is if you pause the video and attempt the questions on your own, and then resume the video to check your answers, okay? This is going to be the best way for you to really get a handle on two-column proofs, justifications, reasons, all of that, okay? So if you take a look, they give us the given statement, 1/2 x minus 5 equals 10. But then what they do is they put the entire left side within parentheses and multiply it by 2. And if you notice, the right term changed from 10 to 20, which means that they also multiplied 10 by 2. So they multiplied both sides by 2, which means your reason was the multiplication property. Okay? From here, it appears that they distributed this 2. 2 times 1/2 equals 1x, and 2 times negative 5 gives you negative 10. So that's the distributive property. Okay? And then from here, it looks like they just simply added 10 on both sides to give you x equals 30, which would be your addition property. For number 2, they give us the given 5 times the sum of x plus 3 is equal to negative 4. And what they started with was distribution. 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times 3 is 15. So they distributed. Then from here, it was a normal two-step equation. They subtracted 15 on both sides. So we have our subtraction property. And then they finished, to isolate x, they needed to divide both sides by 5. So your division property. Okay. Statements and reasons. Again, we have angle CDE and angle EDF creating a linear pair, a straight line. CDE is x, EDF is 3x plus 20. So they tell us right off the bat that angles CDE and EDF are supplementary. The reason they are supplementary is because that word we said, or that phrase, they form a linear pair or a straight line. Since they form a straight line, we can set angle CDE plus angle EDF equal to 180 degrees. And that is the definition of supplementary. Okay. For angle CDE, they substituted in x, and for angle EDF, they substituted in 3x plus 20. So that key phrase is what I just said, substitution. Okay. From here, they went on to combine like terms. They saw a 1x and a 3x makes 4x. So that's simply combining like terms. Okay, the rest is pretty elementary from here. We subtracted 20 on both sides, which is your subtraction property. And then they divided both sides by 4, which is your division property. Okay, next one, we haven't worked with one of these yet. It's line segments. So we have segment XZ, segment ZY, and the entire thing is segment XY. So they tell us the entire line segment is 42. Okay, so this entire segment here, from one end to the other, is 42. And what they're telling us is if we add segment XZ plus segment ZY, we get the entire segment XY. And that's just segment addition. Okay. From here, they said XZ changes to 3n plus 4 because that's what XZ is, 3n plus 4. They also said that ZY can now be changed to 3n. ZY is 3n. Well, that's substitution. After our substitution, they took this 3 and they distributed it. 3 times n makes 3n, and 3 times 4 makes 12. So there's your distribution. After distributing, they took 3n plus 3n to equal 6n. So that's combining like terms. Okay. From here, we subtract 12 on both sides, which is your subtraction property, and then division by 6 on both sides, which is your division property, and n equals 5. Okay, we have 4 examples here. It says name the property of equality or congruence that justifies going from the first statement to the second statement. Well, we have 5x equals 20 goes to x equals 4, so they divided by 5 on both sides. That's your division property of equality. Next, we have ST is congruent to QR, which means QR is congruent to ST. Well, that was definitions from yesterday. When you mirror or flip the equation, okay, that is your symmetric property. Next, we had 2x plus 1 equals 7 goes to 2x equals 6. Well, it looks like they just subtracted 1 on both sides. There's your subtraction property of equality. Last, we have AB minus BC equals 12, and it changed into AB equals 12 plus BC. Well, to me, that looks like they added BC to both sides, which would be the addition property of equality. Okay. Fill in the missing statements or reasons for the following 2-column proof. So the given is that C is the midpoint of AD. So we're going to prove that x equals 6. So again, we have segment AC, segment CD, and segment AD, the entire line. C is the midpoint of AD. Well, if we look back at our information, that was our given statement. C is the midpoint of AD was our given. AC is congruent to CD, meaning this segment here is congruent to this segment. Well, that's the definition of the term from the previous statement. That's the definition of a midpoint. So we can go ahead and mark these two congruent. So AC is equal to CD, and congruent segments have equal length. Pretty straightforward. So now we can set 4x equal to 2x plus 12. And that's just substitution. We plugged in for AC and we plugged in for CD. So what would be my next, move here is we have to start solving the equation from number 4. So I would subtract 2x on both sides. 2x's would cancel, and what would be left? 2x equals 12, and that's your subtraction property of equality. From here, we would divide both sides by 2 and get x equals 6. So if we divided both sides of your equation, that's your division property of equality. Okay, lastly, it says use the given property to complete each statement. So, symmetric property of equality. Remember, symmetric means to flip the equation. If AB is equal to YU, then YU is equal to AB. Symmetric property of congruence, same thing. We're going to flip it over. If angle H is congruent to angle K, then angle K is congruent to angle H. Reflexive property of congruence. Reflexive means that the original equals itself. So angle POR is congruent to angle POR. Next one is the distributive property. That's something we've been working with. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Your substitution property. If LM is equal to 7, then EF plus LM equals NP. All they want you to do is replace LM with the number 7. So EF plus 7 equals NP. Your transitive property of congruence, if angle XYZ is equal to angle AOB, and angle AOB, if XYZ is congruent to AOB, if AOB is congruent to WYT, then angle XYZ is congruent to angle WYT. Okay. That is it for the 2.5 extra practice. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check in for attendance.